All right. Mic check 1 2 1 2 1. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Had to hop on really, really quickly. I apologize for the delay. This is Jonas Brasco, Up the Fulham. I literally just got in the house, and now we are going to slowly but surely get ourselves back up and running. First things first. Is we're going to get us back up to stream time. So far, from either shot, no one has had any real good shots on goal so far. Just one shot each. Regrettably, Lukic is still out. Harry Wilson, his ankle, which is doubtful. And of course, Kevin is pretty much done for the season. But beyond that, again, apologize for the late start. I'm just driving from. I've driven about 30 minutes to get from here to there. You see, we've kind of updated the UI a little bit. Beyond that, again, give me a moment to get the lineups up, and then we will be. Then we should be actually fully set. So, but I hope everyone beyond that is doing well. Once again, I'm glad people are hopping in. As always, this is Jones Brasco with Up the Fulham. Our big thing is, of course. Sorry, I may need to actually mute. But yes, if there are any West Ham people in the chat, I want to welcome you as well. While I was saying in the preview, you guys are actually in a really good position with all these teams that around you that have lost. And the fact is, if you guys win this game, I'm not going to cheer for you to win the game, but if you do, this is going to get you out. This is going to get you out of the bottom for the time being. And Josh King, I'm really hoping he can I'm glad he. A part of me is glad he got the start, but at the same time, I need. I still wonder about him actually, keeping his composure. And that realistically is my only concern. But so far, not much else to report other than Austin Villa already has a 1-0 lead on Chelsea. Forest, Nottingham Forest are at sorry, Manchester City and Nottingham Forest are at 0-0. Brighton, Arsenal are 0-0. Bowen trying to find something. It's gonna be a throw in. And it's also nice to see Anthony Robinson back in the lineup. But I mean, I'd be lying if I said I definitely. I'm not gonna act like I'm not missing Sasha Lukic, and at least I know that he is training again. So hopefully he'll be able to. We'll be able to see him for a few more, at least towards the end of the month. Maybe that start of April, or maybe even the cup tie against Southampton. And of course, we already know who we already know who the commentators are going for or hoping, and not necessarily a bad thing. Just it is what it is. So Somerville. And still, hopefully they can make something. No. Mm. And again, Isatia with a second start. No, I know the thing with Harry Wilson. I'm sad, but again, I more than anything else, just desperate is an understatement for keeping Harry Wilson. So, that's mm, all right. And there, thank you for waiting. Now, West Ham fans, you have your starters. Got a slight skip there. And let's see and just to check the live table real quick. I mean, literally, I think the one thing that it is nice to see is Tom Carney is actually going to got the armband. But keeping on, Arsenal has now gotten their first one. And West Ham has earned themselves a corner. It's not Leno. It's not that Leno isn't decisive. It's just the I mean, just the slight frustration of not being able to. And it's gonna be all right. Nope. VAR decision, no handball, but it is gonna be a corner for West Ham. They're trying to say will be. It came off the lower part, but it was. There is a foul. Yeah, and it's now the card's out. That was. I mean, I'm looking at this, but no, I'm not. I'm not seeing that as a handball by any means. But I don't know. He got if he got away. I just again, I honestly do not think that was a handball. But as you see, my name is Joe Spaxco with Up the Fulham. I want to thank everyone who has been paying attention. 18th minute, at least where my stream is. 18th minute, we got Fulham. Okay, they're showing it. And now they're saying, like, even the commentators are like, okay, it wasn't clear and obvious. Iwobi, just because he had the long sleeve underneath, it is more of the. It was definitely more of this upper arm, below the shoulder, but still upper arm, like around, like above kind of the bicep area. And that's at least where I would have put it. And yes, definitely up the Fulham. We really, I mean, so much could happen just if we get 3 points from this one. But it really is. I'm definitely not taking this game for granted by any means. Especially when it's like you got 2 wins, nothing is a given. And if anyone watched that Wolves Liverpool game, you know nothing is a given. That was that's why I never give up. And even though a lot of people feel like Wolves season is over, like there are plenty of people who definitely feel like Wolves season is over. They their magic number hasn't hit yet. But if West Ham can get a result, they can make it closer. As things stand, West Ham would still be up. Well, actually, West Ham needs to win. Forest and Man City, there's still no score there. Now, there are plenty of people, I'm not going to lie, who cheering for Forest just because they want to see Spurs go down. But a win by Forest would put them level on points with Leeds, but that goal differential is just ridiculous for that. Everton, because of their win 2-0 over Burnley, they are currently in eighth. Fulham would need to get all 3 points to tie Everton and maybe get themselves to eighth. Now, if they just go, literally ham on West Ham, they could possibly get up to. They could actually get up to seventh and be tied on points with Brentford, who had that 0-0 draw against Bournemouth yesterday. But I really am thankful for everyone who's watching, listening, and right now it is a corner. Leno, nicely dealt with by Iwobi. It's not going out. They, they thought it was, but it's not. It didn't go out of play. Iwobi's chasing afterwards, and West Ham is forced to give it back to the keeper. The keeper is really far outside the box, but he does a nice boot to it. Leno, same thing, goes out. It's going to be to Robinson. Pass it to Sanderberg. Sanderberg, he needs to just keep. He needs to be able to. Issa Diop, again, his second straight start. I'm glad that he's kind of getting the start. Also, Tom Carney. I know there have been people who are waiting and been hoping for Tom Carney to start. Now that finally has happened. Robinson, Iwobi, finds it. Robinson, it goes off his heel. West Ham takes it back. And now West Ham trying to make a run. Bowen dealt with easily by Bassi. Bassi, super aggressive. It is literally forcing West Ham back. Jiménez tries to get to the ball. Jiménez is able to get to it. And then he is fouled. He is fouled by Somerville, and I think Somerville is about to get a card. He's just going to give him, okay, he's just giving Somerville a warning. All right. I mean, I can see that. That's a foul, not a card. I can see that. It was kind of like they were tangled up a little bit, but it was definitely. And the nice thing is for Fulham now. First things first. Take care of this. I know there are plenty of people looking forward to the Southampton game. Maybe get that cup. Get further in the cup, but that's not nearly as important right now. Diop gets it to Josh King, running. Josh King going in the box, and he's tripped. Not a good tackle by Socek. Somerville, Tete fighting. Jimenez able to get to it. Jimenez finds King. Tried to get it to Chukwueze. Chukwueze, he's blocked out. And it's going to be a throw in. Malik did a great job on defense for West Ham. Easily. Josh King just let the ball get a little bit far away from him. But I mean, literally, each team one shot on target, each team two shots. And that's basically it. Sanderberg tried to get it to Robinson, intercepted, but Fulham able to get the ball back. Carney's gonna get to Bassey. Bassey is upper third. Anthony Robinson forced back to Iwobi. Still, one of Fulham's biggest issues is still working from that right side. Chukwueze finds Carney. Tom Carney finds Josh King. Josh King, deflection, able to get a corner out of it. But that's just a good job, just if nothing else, King with the run and getting Fulham a corner. And this is their first corner of the corner, nothing there. Robinson finds Kearney. Anthony Robinson actually working from the right side, tried to cross it into center. Well, it's not happening. West Ham, Somerville's now with it. Somerville is tried to run straight over Anthony Robinson. That does not happen. Carney finds Iwobi. Iwobi finds Tom Carney. Iwobi trying to find King. Doesn't work. Goes to Iwobi. And Iwobi tries another shot, but it's straight at the keeper. So it is a shot on goal, just not the. I don't know where I want to put that, but and as always, but I definitely appreciate everyone who is in the chat. I'm just watching, and again, West Ham is definitely not in a bad place. They should, but I also know that they're not like they don't give up like a crazy amount of goals either. In the meantime, scores are pretty much the same for everyone else. Villa, Chelsea 1-0 still. Arsenal, Brighton 1-0. Sanderberger tried to get the cross. Bassi, nice header. Fine stump Carney. And they're going to call foul. And they're going to say that was Carney, even though I don't think. Okay. I mean, there is a foul from Carney. You can't really escape that. And again, Fulham, the thing with the possession, that's usually the case. They're a high possession team, but usually the goals and shots don't really share that. But Jiménez is able to get to the ball, running it out. Finds Sanderberg, tries to get to Sanderberger. Sanderberger just doesn't have that speed. West Ham easily takes it back. Castellanos on the break. Bowen, not the greatest effort by Jaron Bowden. And it's going to be a goal kick for Fulham. And I forgot to mention Tom Carney has the armband. Tete is able to boot that easily headed and dealt with by West Ham. Fernandez with an error. It's going to be a foul, and they're going to call the foul on Jiménez. Well, Todibo is down. Todibo. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Jiménez is trying to go for the ball. It's just more or less the fact that it's like he's jumping, but he's just going for the ball. It's just it was too late. It was way too late. And I'm just going to I'm doing an audio check. All right. Mic check 1 2 1 2 1. Mic check. Throwing it live, and West Ham is able to get the ball. It's going to be a free kick for them. And West Ham is able to get the ball. It's going to be a free kick for them. And as you see, we've done a little bit of changed the UI a little bit, kept some elements, switched some other ones. And as you see, we've done a little bit of changed the UI a little bit, kept some elements, switched some other ones. As you see, Somerville, nice. Oh! I think Tete got stepped on. He was making the tackle, but I think Tete got stepped on side of the head. The tackle was good. It was just yes. I mean, it was a break. Tete, a great slide. Okay, it looks like the tip of the cleat kind of hit him on the back of the net, back of the neck. Not a really, definitely not a card. It was accidental. Well, Jimenez, they're still trying to work that left side. I mean, if you're West Ham, you're definitely happy. Chukwueze tried a fancy kind of backheel pass to Sanderberger. That doesn't happen. So it's going to be a throw in for Kenny Tete. And he's going to kick it back to Diop. And just a really not great kick by Leno. It goes out. Jimenez tried to get to that, but West Ham's able to keep possession. And it and I'm not sure, but it almost looks like but it looked like Bowen actually had a scrape underneath his knee, but it really is hard to tell from the camera. I don't know if it's going to be settled or late. They mentioned yes, Jimenez scored in the 85th minute to give Fulham the win earlier this year. Last year in December. That was technically what would have normally been the Boxing Day game. Was a day later. Believe me, I'd like to see a goal in this one. And speaking of goals, Pedro has tied it up for Chelsea. So it's 1-1 there. Man City has gotten on the board. Semenyo. Beyond that, Arsenal again 1-0 over Brighton. Mr. Saka was able to make something happen in the ninth minute. So at this time, Fulham West Ham, that's the only game so far with no score. And of course, they're talking about the chases. Iwobi into the box, tried to find King, and it goes out for a throw in. Iwobi tried to get to King. King just, I don't know if it's just a maturity thing, but it's going to happen in time. King gets back to Chukwueze. King is not quite sure where he's going to run. Oh, and I should have mentioned that Lukic is on the bench. Mm. I mean, it may be a little too early to be talking about the second half, but it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing to get Sacha Lukic some time. Someone who is on the bench and who Josh King has replaced is Emil Smith Rowe. But there really hasn't been a lot from him in the last few games. So this is an understandable change. I mean, they're talking, of course, by the changes that they have. You don't have Joaquin Anderson, you don't have Emil Smith Rowe normally in your lineup. Of course, you don't have Harry Wilson, but that is what it is. Sandberg, nice header to keep it in. Chukwueze tried to slide it in. Diop and Somerville. Carney tried to flick, but nothing there. West Ham trying to call a foul on Anthony Robinson. And it's going to be and finally something I have not seen. It's actually a simulation penalty. Robinson did not touch. Really blatant simulation. No. And no, that wasn't, but yeah, Wan-Bissaka, a yellow a yellow card for simulation. That's actually the first simulation card I've seen so far this season. I'm sure there have been others, but actually, like during a Fulham game, very slow and a quick foul by a Iwobi to just kind of stop the break. You know, and I think what Fulham just needs to, I mean, it does need quicker, and it just feel free, take the shot on goal. It's like they have not been challenging the keeper. Hermanson has pretty much had the night off so far. It doesn't really matter how much possession. It's like if you cannot find a way. Chukwueze nice tried to get a little too fancy. King didn't see it, and West Ham regains possession. Probably the last 5 minutes, West Ham has been a little bit more aggressive. Definitely have had possession, and now they're just kind of slowing things down. Somerville cross into it. Sanderberg gets to the ball and is able to get it away. West Ham still has possession, but just to get out of the danger area is great on his part. And yes, all I'm saying is, yeah, we could use a goal. But again, it was the 85th minute before it's decided the first time. Mm. Callum Wilson had a shot. He really did. It just sails over the bar. But Wambasaka, great pick. I mean, it's a good. Sanderberger is beat. Leno sees it, but it just sails. And slowly but surely, we're creeping to halftime. Josh King tripped, no foul. Wait, stand by, because Fernandez, we're gonna watch. It's outside the box, but the question is the foul. If Fernandez does foul, but he is going for the ball. No, it's not a penalty. The question is this may be this. Okay, this is gonna be interesting because Fernandez does not like he knows. Mm, I don't know. I don't think it's Fernandez may have an argument that to stay on there. Very much so. No, it's lived up to the expectations. Newcastle, man, you have kicked off, but the fact is they called a foul. And this may be really one of those where you can't really say, but it is Jiménez, and it will be a corner. And this is and so I don't know. I don't know where you put this. Short corner, Sanderberg, Robinson, Josh King shoots, kick save. Josh King. It was a good. He spin, takes a shot, and the sad thing is, yeah, Fulham's not going to get the corner. That's it. It's halftime. But no, it's halftime. It's halftime. Nope, no pen. There was no penalty. It was outside the box. The issue becomes that Fernandez fouled. If the argument is that Fernandez fouled King, then Fulham shouldn't have had the free kick. I mean, or it should have been. Sorry, let me try this again. They won't let me pause this commercial. So let's try this again. The foul happens outside the box. The ref calls it a foul. If it is a foul, Fernandez should get the yellow, which means he should be red, and West Ham should be playing with 10 men. If Fernandez gets to the ball first and King runs into him, then a foul shouldn't have been given him in the first place. But because it had happened outside the box, there was no penalty. And the thing is, it's a foul, it's a scoring opportunity either way. Then it should be West Ham should be playing with 10 men right now. But that's not happening. I mean, I'm not I mean, people make the argument about, oh, Wilby, there should have possibly been a handball earlier in the game. But at the end of the day, the score is the score. And Man City isn't even playing right now. So I don't know why the person in the chat even mentioned that. So I'm going to pop it up for a second. But again, Man City's not. Actually, no, Man City is playing right now. I stand corrected. And they're leading 1-0 at halftime. Newcastle, Manchester United, no score yet. Aston Villa, Chelsea, they had 8 minutes of stoppage time in that game. Apparently, there were a few VAR checks in that one. So they haven't finished yet. Arsenal still 1-0 over Brighton. I don't know what I like. I really don't know how I feel about that first half. If you're a Fulham fan, you're kind of disappointed that you weren't able to really take advantage. If you're West Ham, you're lucky. And that's all I can say is, rejoice, because that probably you probably should be playing with 10 men going into the second half. But that's not the case. We move on. There's 45 more minutes to go. I mean, and for what it's worth, if I was just, really watching this as a neutral, I would probably think that West Ham was the better team. But at the same time, there's they've had to make West Ham has have to make 3 saves, while Fulham has had to make only 1. So, but what about you guys in the chat? How did you feel about the first half? Do you think, or how do you feel this one's going to end? Because right now, I wouldn't be surprised again if this ends. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends in a draw. And for Fulham, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because they don't get too many of them. But that's just to put it on there. That is the tale of the tape so far. No score, nothing to write home about, except some controversial calls. That's never a fun thing. That's never a fun thing to say. But we're gonna take a quick breather. This is the main schedule. You saw that for the remaining fixtures. You see where we're at today. On Saturday, Fulham, Southampton at Fulham, and then Fulham goes on the road to Forest, and then back at home against Burnley. So for West Ham, depending on the results of this game, we may be helping you in these next 2 games. We also may be helping Spurs as well. But job needs to be done. See, check. If anything has happened, nothing has happened in the other games yet. Except Chelsea did get on the board. Pedro got one in stoppage time. It is now 2-1 Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez with the assist. And they've had 8 minutes of stoppage time. and they still haven't gotten to halftime yet. They're currently in the 54th minute. So that one, not happening. But once again, this is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham. We're going to take a quick breather. You got the countdown going there. And 1 second. My score ticker on does not seem to be cooperating on this one. But we will be right back. Thank you for watching, listening, wherever you are. No score so far. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. And as you can see, we are back. We're still showing highlights from the first half. In the meantime, we'll take a moment to. Oh, I thought the second half was about to, but nope. And of course, the commercial pops up. But for everyone watching, thanks again. This is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham. I know at least have looks like I at least got one West Ham fan in here. So I'm asking, what would you be back Fulham, please? All right. But what would you expect from the second half? Is there anyone that you know on the West Ham bench that can you think can come in, make a difference? Because I definitely think, if nothing else, I know Fernandez should definitely be coming off in the second half. And if people are wondering, still commercials are happening. And unlike Spurs, there's not two goalies because, and of course there is one person on that bench that, I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm there isn't a slight storyline behind, and that's of course Adama Traore, which which is gonna be weird if, and somewhat disappointing if, he made this trade. I mean, this wanted out for this to be the result, because I really do think he's a quality enough player that I want to, if nothing else, I want to cheer for him and make sure that he can keep you guys up. That part I will admit. All right, and there's still okay. I think I may have came back a little too early for halftime, but again, these are the substitutions. I'm from Brazil. Let's go full. Thank you. It's nice to see this is the case. There's a few vamos full. I mean, I'm hoping that they can make something happen, but as that last game, you know, it may not. Nothing may happen until, of course, the towards the end of the game. And what's really is sad is that this game, I don't want to be the case, but the longer it goes, the more it looks like this game's going to be decided by VAR. And I think that's the last thing I want to happen. But seeing Anderson on the bench is still it's still a weird kind of, I won't say reality check, just, I mean, I know Anderson took a knock, so I'm not surprised. It's still just, and I realized that I definitely came back too early. But still, one thing that does make me happy is, seeing Sasha Lukic on the bench. I mean, and it definitely seems like we're playing a little bit more defensive, but I really, really want them to go after this game. Because as things happen, I would not be surprised if West Ham is actually able to get 3 points out of this. The longer this game is 0-0, the greater the risk of, one defensive error, one card. That is the Fulham bench as well. Hey, bro, come on. Yes, definitely. And there's just, yeah, I definitely came back too early. But still, I'm looking forward to this second half. It's just, again, I know there's some West Ham people in here. I got both benches up. What should we be expecting? What should what should we really be expecting in the second half? But beyond that, just quick. No, sorry, 1 second, please. All right, sorry about that. Now, the Tottenham situation, okay, that did not go well. So, the Tottenham situation, the Tottenham situation is interesting, but again, this should not be. I mean, there are other teams you want to cheer for, other teams you want to look for, and yes, if I had to pick between Spurs and West Ham, yes, I'd rather West Ham stay up. I mean, if I had to think about the teams that should be relegated, it would be Burnley, Spurs, and I honestly want to say Nottingham Forest because I don't. I mean, I know this is going to sound really wrong, but I've enjoyed these last these last 5 games from Wolves. 2 wins, 2 draws, and only 1 loss, and that was a 1-0 loss to Crystal Palace. Like they are easily playing some of the best football at that bottom of the table. But yes, West Ham definitely wants and needs this game, or at least needs a result. Because if nothing else, it's the fact that after this, they gotta take on Man City. And the second half has kicked off. And the second shot and a forced save by Leno. Oh my gosh. Offside flag. Wait, did I miss something? Did I miss something? Yeah. Okay. Wow, my stream got really weird really quickly. So I apologize. Let's fix some things. All right. Apologize. There was a slight hiccup there. We're back up and going. And again, there was another VAR. Fulham had a chance for a penalty, but yeah, they say Castellanos was kicked by Tom Carney. And again, this is when I say I don't want this game decided by VAR. That's exactly what I mean. Because I felt like I got back in time and just I was wondering what the deal was, but now I know. Apo- oh, sorry, what's up? Yes, room. Apologies, my son was asking something from me. And those who are joining, thank you for joining me. This is Jonas Brasco for Up the Fulham, and obviously I just had to put this up just for clarity. I'm slightly surprised. I'm slightly surprised Areola is not in here. Neither team makes any substitutions. Sanderberger gives away the ball. Now West Ham on the break. Almost. Oh wow. Chukwueze Take a breather, man. He almost an own goal for Fulham. Castellanos. It looked like he was trying to find someone on the other side. Instead, it went straight to Chukwueze. Chukwueze, I think, was trying to kick it out for a corner, but instead it went straight to the keeper. And luckily, it went straight to the keeper. If you want to talk about, yeah, penalty would have been harsh on West Ham, and own goal would have been harsh on Fulham. Opportunity. Socek and Wilson had chances at that. Yeah, Wilson. It looked like he caught it late. He was first going with the head. Then he actually tries to kick towards it. Socek was on the outside, but because of that, there was nothing that Socek could do. A missed opportunity for West Ham. And now we are finally seeing some substitutions. Looks like Moniz is going to come in. Okay, yeah, Fulham's going to. They're going after this. They're going to make a triple change. And Callum Wilson is going to go off. So we have a few substitutions to make. And I'm by no means surprised that y'all. So because we have so many substitutions, please stand by. Smith Rowe is going to get in there for Josh King. No surprise there. Oh, they just said that Nottingham Forest is equalized at Manchester City. And now only one substitution for West Ham. But I can't be surprised if you're trying to get a little bit more aggressive. No, he did not. But if you were going to ask who I want to win the league versus who actually is going to win the league, I'm going to take Arsenal. I will take Arsenal over both Man City and Man United. And unfortunately, they're too far out. Villa's too far out. But I guess if I had to pick, Arsenal. I can't cheer for either man. I can't cheer for either man. Any Manchester team. Smith Rowe, he slips first time. Bowen tried to get to Somerville. Tete gets to it, but and it goes straight to Leno. Very, very. No, that was not a good ball for Bowen. One sec. And you got the fans a little bit of come on Fulham, but still, I will give Marco Silva credit that he made. This is, I think, one of the earliest that I've seen him make like 3 substitutions. Smith Rowe out to Chukwueze. Chukwueze trying to find Robinson, and Tobito kicks it out for the corner. And this is sadly where Harry Wilson will be doing the corners. This is going to be a Wobie. And there are West Ham players warming up on the side. There are a couple of Fulham players still warming up as well. A Wobie with the corner. Tete tried to get to it. Tete still keeping possession. Finds a Wobie. Cross towards the back. Sanderberg. No, that wasn't Sanderberg. That was Smith Rowe. And they're saying that it would have been offsides. Smith Rowe got to it. Yeah, he was definitely offside. My condolences. I it's not even so. I mean, if I had to pick someone, I mean, yeah. But I also think Arsenal. There's a reason. No, very get back, get back, get back, Tete. No, Somerville shoots, score. Why would you have been out of the box so much, Leno? I mean, Leno couldn't get to it. I mean, there's just. I'm not crying. Like this was just Diop. I mean, Diop was trying to get to it. Leno cut Diop off, and that's just there's nothing else. And I don't care that Leno was doing the DX suck it thing. That was just bad. And Diop was trying not to. I mean, he couldn't do much. I would have liked for him to try to get down and head it because it gets past Diop. But this is all Leno. No, there's no. That was just no. You can't be pleased. There was no reason for that to happen. Like there really is no reason that should have happened at all. I'm sorry. I just that was. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. That was just that was poor. That was poor. That was yeah. That was just poor. That was just poor. Oh no, that's definitely Fulhamish. I mean, there's literally we have a term for that, and that's called Fulhamish. I mean, and I don't know. I actually don't know if the changes that Fulham made went to their disadvantage, but Chelsea got another one. It's 3-1. Again, City now over Forest. And now free kick. Leno grabs it straight ahead. We're good when we're good, but Fulham report. I mean, again, we have a term, literally Fulhamish. Like I didn't even like some people would say this trap game after winning two straight. I didn't even say trap game. This was just a either way. I didn't have Fulham winning this game. I either saw I had a draw or a loss, and that's not me not being a Fulham fan. That's me knowing my team. Shindaway as, but yeah, this. I mean, there's no other way to say it. This game was. Uh, Anthony Robinson trying to get the ball back. Little boot, but he's able to get it back to Diop. Diop's going to take it back to Leno. Leno not outside the box this time. 100%. I mean, you can just see the West Ham fans. You can just see the smile on their faces, and they deserve it. And I'm hoping that I didn't. I really am hoping that I just didn't miss my viewers. If I just saw my stream drop from viewer wise, if I missed something, or if, hopefully if people can't see me, please let me know. Okay, it bounced back. But yeah, we need something. So apologies. I really do try my best not to eat on stream. Awobi, back to Smith Rowe. Even with everything, even with Smith Rowe on that right side, they're still not able to really have anything going. They're gonna work from the right side, left side, and that's what's Chukwueze tried to go into Smith Rowe. Nothing happening there. Chukwueze is able to get the ball back to Smith Rowe again. He's being marked very well. Muniz is in the center, but there's West Ham, they're doing a great job of just pressing. Like Fulham can't even get into the box. Chukwueze tries to find Smith Rowe, but he can't get a good touch on it. And just like that, it goes back to Hermanson, and he's gonna have a throw. It's like, you fine, bro. No, thanks, but no. Literally, like one of the first the first comment I ever got on a stream was, "Dude, you look nasty eating." And I know that a lot of other like live reactors and stuff, they don't eat on stream. Like they may take a sip like I did, but they are very careful not to actually eat anything on stream. So I understand that. I understand that for some people it's a turnoff. I just That's just the way the situation presented itself today. And the sad thing is, the way the commentators are, yes, a second goal would probably end this game for Fulham. Smith Rowe trying to find Chukwueze. Is he able to keep it in? No, he is not. And it goes out, and it's going to be a throw in for West Ham. And now they're showing Smith Rowe, just not Smith Rowe, but Harry Wilson, just looking disappointed. And it's hard to believe, but there's only 15 minutes left in this game, not counting stoppage. Which right now, I probably, because of that VAR, I probably will put this at 5 minutes of stoppage. Cross into the box. Socek was waiting. Fernandez with a shot. Just goes wide. Goes so quick. I mean, that's the thing. It's And just so for those who are curious about the table, yeah, if West Ham holds on, they go up. They're out of the drop zone. They go to 17. Forest goes down. Fulham goes down to 10th. And depending on how this game ends, they could drop down to even 11th. The difference is a 1 goal differential over Sunderland. Chelsea's put another one. It's 4-1. Pedro with the hat trick. Bob with the ball. Just ends up passing it back. Sanderberg. No. Bob still nothing. West Ham. They had a chance, but Sanderberger had to intercept that. Leno has made sure that there were people back before he went out the box that time. Because now West Ham is being more defensive. Like it's not even so much that they're trying to break. It's like now they're forcing Fulham to try to score. And wow, okay. Some fun stuff has happened in that Newcastle game. Anthony Gordon gets the penalty, but at the same time, Ramsey has a red card. Jacob Ramsey is out of that game. So going into halftime, Newcastle may have the lead, but they're going to be playing that second half with 10 men. And right now, a draw for Fulham would be, well, two things. One, it would be a good thing for the history, just in the sake of history of Fulham. Mm. And it's sad to say this, in the history of Fulham in the Premier League, and I kid you not, this is a very weird stat, but each season that they've been relegated, they've had less than 6 draws. So Leno has it. It's gonna be again. We're in the 80th minute, and while they're talking about West Ham dropping points from winning positions, Fulham has a chance. Yes, some fancy passing. Didn't Sanderberg's able to get it? Sanderberg is running, and it's and a good tackle. I hope not, but try to find Chukwueze. I mean, I hope not. I really hope not. It's just a weird stat because because with the Brentford Bournemouth game, we now have the fewest draws in the league with 4. Everyone else has 5 or more. So that's just a weird stat. And even everyone that's below us in the table or the bottom 3 all have at least 7 draws. And now West Ham trying to get on the break. Diop, good job with the defensive work. But still, found and Bowen, and now it is offsides. And just in case you were wondering, on the top of the table, Elliot Anderson has equalized. So Forest has it tied 2-2 at Manchester City. So with that, West Ham is now back in the bottom 3. And they're calling for, yeah, that's definitely a handball there. Yeah, Doof just chested, hand. I don't think there's any complaints about that. And now Fulham's making their final 2 substitutions. Castagna and Ryan Sessegnon are going to be coming in for Fulham. I mean, because Fulham, you're going for this. You cannot. I'm not saying you cannot take the draw, or you cannot take the loss, but I mean, it's gonna be, will be. And 2, Muniz looked like that was over Muniz's head. I don't even think he would have been able to get to it, even if there was any type of grab or pull. Very few. And it's going to be a corner for Fulham. The crowd finally, there's a little bit of life to him. Very much a gift of the corner. But couldn't do anything with it. And it's going to be another one. Oscar Bob is going to take the corner. We're in the 84th minute, folks. No. Goes off Castagna. And that's it for Fulham. They've used all their substitutions. Yeah, I mean that's how this game ended last time. Jiménez in the 85th minute. And luckily Bowden was offside, shoots, it goes in, but yeah, that was definitely some time wasting there. Yeah, I mean I don't but Manchester United Newcastle 1-1 at halftime. I mean, and if nothing else, yes, we are indeed in Fulhamish time. Castagna is definitely going to be a lot more aggressive. And it's like Fulham has more shots on target, more shots overall. But again, they have the corners. They force the keeper to make more saves, but it doesn't matter. Chukwueze to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe has to force it. They're having to force it back. West Ham is doing great on the press. They're not allowing Fulham to get into the box at all. Yeah, and even the commentators are like you can try to get the ball to Muniz. Muniz hasn't. You brought him in. He has not actually had a shot at the ball right now. Chukwueze cross into the center, nicely done, dealt with by West Ham. Again, they cannot. Fulham has to find some way to work the right side. If you know everything's coming from the left side, it's easier to defend. There's no foul. Iwobi gets it. I mean, I'm wondering if it's the fact what we need is a striker or that we need a better better midfield. Now they're checking if this is going to be a corner or throw in. And it's going to be a corner and throw. Diep was going up for the header. Shot by Castagna and saved. Hermanson, great job with this. Castagna, great job. Bassi gets to it. Sessignon maintains, but it goes out. It goes out. And considering it is a deflection, that's still. I feel like that was a deflection off of. And of course, now here come. Of course, this had to happen. You know this had to happen. Traore, Traore in for Somerville. I can't even bet. Like you knew it was going to happen. Robinson cross into the box. Yeah, no handball. And still, yeah, 90th minute now. Castagna, Bob. What about Bob? What can Bob do? Into the box. Jiménez tries to get it back to Bob. There's no foul there. It just, he could have tried turning and shooting. And it's not that I'm not saying anything. It's just that Fulham hasn't really made Robinson. He looks like he's going to go for the cross. Finds Robinson. Robinson's letting it go behind. Gets it Chukwueze. Chukwueze. The cross to Smith Rowe. But everybody's like, they literally four West Ham players surrounding Smith Rowe. And it's going to be 6 minutes of stoppage. And Chukwueze with the card. Apologies, there was a slight error. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's 1-0, and it has stayed this way. Okay, let's not commentators like middle of winter, it's summer, Somerville. Look, please don't do that. I get you got jokes, but or you think you're funny. Don't do that. Kane coming in for Fernandez. We're in the 93rd minute. Bassi trying to, and of course, it's him, Traore. They're saying welcome. They're well acquainted. Still not finding Fulham's trying to find something in the box. Sessignon is trying to shoot. Like literally Chukwueze, like the whole crowd was like shoot. Sessignon gives it up. And as always, Bowen. West Ham still Bowen and Robinson, and there's a foul on Bowen, and it's gonna be Fulham ball. And final, just trying to get to Muniz. Muniz nowhere near there. Iwobi, 95th minute. Come on, Fulham. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's a deflection on the cross, but still, keeper got it. We're in the 96th minute now. We really do need Robinson. Gets it back. Definitely a last gasp, if nothing else. There is I mean, yeah, we're gonna go with the unless. Bassi, Chukwueze gets it back to Bassi. Robinson, send the cross. Bob was outside, so he couldn't get to it. Smith Rowe tried to get there. Bowen gonna boot it. Robinson, it's deflected. It's gonna be a throw in for Fulham. This may be it. And it's intercepted from Robinson. The whistle has not blown yet. Fulham looks like they're gonna have one last opportunity. Boot ceased. It slipped. Foul. And it's gonna. Oh. All right, we're gonna see this. He got and he wasn't trying to. And it's just that may be it. That may be that. And it was a foul on Bassi. They're like, please blow the whistle. Fulham Chukwueze trying to get something. Foul. The whistle's not being blown yet. You're gonna call foul, and it's gonna be a free kick. And that should end it. And Robinson is probably gonna get a card for that. No, Conte. But it and Anthony Robinson. It's still this game's still going. Both players are booked. All right, and it's that's whistle has that's it. That is it. That is all. That's how it ends. I can't even, and that's how this ends. And that's how this ends. I can't even be upset. And that's the sad thing. Is like I can't actually be upset. We're not gonna. I'm not even gonna say post. Like there isn't even really a post match reaction. It's just simply we weren't. We weren't good enough today. Like I said, I can't even call it a trap game. We just weren't good enough today. And just so we know now, a great. I mean, great job from West Ham. They definitely deserve this one. Man City, Nottingham Forest. That's two. That's still 2-2 apiece. Because as it stands, I mean, West Ham. They're still. It's still. They're still at the bottom. They're still in that bottom three, and that is now gone final. Oh no, it has not gone final. So I thought it was final. It is not final there with Man City. So Forest, yeah, that's now final. Manchester City, not enforced. Forest with a result no one would have expected. No, there are no easy games. If nothing else, if the Wolves game didn't teach anyone anything yesterday, there are no easy games. And you are hearing, and of course you're hearing now. I'm about to shut that off, but they're saying right now the fans are we are staying up. We are staying up, and the way they played today, I don't see how they couldn't. But this is one of the things. I mean, and I'm in the United States, and I'm trying to watch MLS, but as messed up as this is gonna sound, and I'm including Leeds in this. Leeds, Tottenham, Forest, West Ham, Burnley may be the best. You may be watching the best 10-9 games for the remainder of the season, and it's gonna come from them because they're gonna fight every week. They are going to fight, and it should be it should be like they have nothing to lose. None of these teams from here on out in that bottom half of the table have nothing to lose, and there should be some very very fun matches from that. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Arsenal's running away with it either. But those may honestly be the best matches from here on out. But after that, we'll be back on Saturday, March 7th for the cup tie between Fulham and Southampton. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I mean that there's nothing else you can say. I do think like that bottom fight, and not to mention our next two games are literally take away the Southampton game. Our next two games is at Forest and then back at home against Burnley. And this is the only reason why I'm saying that we're not out the woods ourselves yet. Yes, we have 40 points. You want to say 40 points, you were safe, but it's like barely safe. And yeah, a lot of people cup run because we're not, these games like this show we're not good enough for Europe. So I'm not even worrying about Europe right now. I want a good, I want a good cup run, but I also want and need us to be healthy. Now Kevin's gone for the rest of the season. Like that. Oh, okay. I forgot the whole daylight savings time thing happens. So that's actually 8 o'clock. No, it's sad. This game was sad. This game was completely sad. But no, I mean I'm trying to think what is the positive, and I don't have any. Usually I say the key to winning Fulham games is simply not just to score two goals, but to find some way to work the right side of the pitch. You can't have everything come from the left side. You have to find a way to work the right side of the pitch, or else your offense is predictable. You know you're going to find Robinson, Chukwueze, and it's going to be across towards the center. It's going to be across towards the center. And all you have to do if you're West Ham or any other team is crowd the center. Where we have had these magnificent goals or these shots outside the box. Like that's what happened with the Wilby. That's what happened with Harrison Reed. We've done this also with Harry Wilson. If we're not on the break, we're not getting goals in the box. We're shooting from outside the box, or it has to be a header, like Jiménez. We don't have the ability to scrap inside the box. Like we have to have like defenders away from us. I don't know. And as frustrated as I am with Leno, because I'm definitely frustrated with the fact that that happened. Diop still had a chance at that ball. Issa Diop had a chance. I get that he was not trying to give away the penalty, but he still actually had a chance at that ball. Like he could have tried a header, he could have just a slide, but there was nothing there. And as much as you miss Harry Wilson, like that should not be the one thing that actually I can't even call that. If I had to say probably the biggest thing that hurt as far as like a miss, I won't even say it was Harry Wilson. It was Akeem Henderson. When the person who is normally your captain, Anderson, I know he's been sick. He was on the bench, he didn't get a chance to come out. But when your main captain and your main defensive person is not able to be in the lineup, I mean that hurts. Like Leno should not have had to come out that far in the first place. Someone else should have been back. And I think Anderson would have done that. In these last few games, our strength is our back line, except that we still cannot keep a clean sheet. We're not only always going to score 2 goals, or in some ways, like they were saying that they can't imagine Fulham not scoring at home. I can imagine that. We've seen it. We've seen Fulham struggle to score, and their wins are usually 2-1, 1-0 wins. If nothing else, if that's what's going to happen, then the main thing is that we just need a good, solid defensive performance and get a shutout. We need a clean sheet. Yes, I want them to continue winning, but more than anything else, I feel that they just need a clean sheet. Because again, we don't get draws. We have the fewest amount of draws in the league. It's like we either win or we lose. That's it. But with Joaquin Anderson not being in there, Sacha Lukic not being there, and both of them are on the bench. I know that they may not be the best, but both Anderson and Lukic can hold on to the ball. Lukic can actually score. Like Lukic was literally the only one who has scored for Fulham in both in their games against Newcastle. And I really do like Diop as far as being aggressive and stuff, but Diop does not have speed. And that was shown very clearly on the goal that was given up. These are the things where Anderson and Lukic can be back there having to pick up the slack. But I don't know if you can. I don't know. I think you have to give Lacombe you have to give Lacombe the start for the cup game against Southampton. Again, I don't think a Wobie. I'm not upset with a Wobie. I'm really not. But it was very clear that in his case, the loss of Harry Wilson was bigger for him than I think anyone else. Tom Carney, for what it's worth, Tom Carney did fine. Where the other person that probably, I'm not going to say is the worst defender on the pitch, but I think because of the issue with Harry Wilson, they Awobi had to play a defensive role because they were using Josh King as a midfielder slash attacker, and that's not something that Josh King is really good at. He's weaker defensively than holding up the ball. Like Josh King, I would be okay with that if he could hold up the ball. But you're absolutely right that Awobi is not a defender. But they did need someone back there who could hold the ball because there was no Sasha Lukic, there was no Anderson, and to also help that they had Tom Carney start. And literally the goal, I mean, and Tom Carney had to come off in the second half. And then once that happened, you literally lost like some of the best people that could hold the ball, and probably one of the better people that can hold the ball. And as a result, that goal happened. The only people that were actually replaced I mean, Tom Carney is literally, he was the first one to come off. Him and Jimenez. Everyone else that was back in the fence didn't get subbed off until after the goal was scored. Tete, Sanderberg, 82nd minute. I get that you were playing for the win, but you're not strong enough defensively that you can do that. That game was 0-0 at halftime. You can't defend. You can't keep a clean sheet. So as messed up as you're saying exactly that Iwobi should not have been playing a defensive role, Josh King should not have been on the pitch. Emil Smith Rowe should have been starting. Oscar Bob, I hate to say this, but he doesn't hold the ball well enough either. Ryan Sessegnon, Castagna, those substitutions were fine. I would have even put Harrison Reed midfield. Like, Josh King would not have started. I know Lukic is just coming back from injury, so I can give a little bit of leeway, but that would have been, like, it really was too late. It was really too late for Castagna and Sessegnon to be in the game. Like, they're coming in 82nd minute after the goal has been scored. That should not have happened. Where that 60th minute, I wouldn't say you necessarily needed to sub them off then, but yeah, they should have. No, they should have been as soon as Somerville scored. I was like, nope, we gotta play defensive from here on out because West Ham did not even have to make any other. No, King is not ready. Joshua King is not ready. Joshua King is. Josh King is. I won't even say that he's too green, but with Kevin, you could see, and I can't believe I'm making this, but with Kevin, you could see the growth over the past, like, for the weeks. You could see the growth in Kevin. Yes, I was hard on Kevin earlier in the season, but you could see the growth in Kevin as the season went until he got injured. I'm not seeing that growth in Josh King. And while I don't necessarily say he needs to be loaned out because it's a little too late for that, at least this season. Next season, yes, I could see Josh King like, okay, you got you got to stop being so impulsive and you got to learn how to play smart. He doesn't have that sense. And he doesn't really play defensive. Like, I saw him several times. The ball goes away, like the ball gets turned over to West Ham and he's just there. And yeah, big ups to Kevin. I mean, I'm sad that he's out for the rest of the season, but that's just something we have to accept. That he's done for the season. Harry Wilson, I hope that angle, like, I would not be surprised if he's not featured in the Southampton game. In fact, that literally may be the best thing for Harry Wilson is not to be in the Southampton game and then come back for Nottingham Forest. Like, I think that would have been the better result. But this is, oh, sorry. Hit the wrong button. But just to review some of the final ones. Yeah, Chelsea Villa, that wasn't even that wasn't even a game. That wasn't even a game, and that was Newcastle Man U. They still tied at one apiece. Tomorrow is I mean Tottenham this didn't go their way, but they get I mean they're gonna take on Palace. But yeah, Man City Forest I think is actually the better upset. No, Villa's not. Oh, good God, no, Villa is not finishing fourth. I mean, yes, the Chelsea. I mean, that's definitely a tell. But I still think, even though that was a hiccup yesterday, I still think Wolves are. I mean, not Wolves. I think, I still think Liverpool's going to finish fourth. I do think Villa and Chelsea are going to drop, and I do think Villa's going to finish fourth. But I think everyone who is not a Spurs fan wants Tottenham to win. I'm sorry, everyone who's not a Spurs fan wants Palace to win tomorrow. And definitely, and believe me, Newcastle could pull. I mean, if Newcastle just happens to pull this off against United, that may be the only way Villa gets into the top five. Is just with help from other teams. But they don't have a bad. But Villa doesn't have a bad team. We still got one. I think we still got to do Villa one more time ourselves. That's actually going to be the last home game. Is it's going to be the 25th in April. That's like Villa one more time. Because what makes this interesting, and this is why I'm not really worried about Europe now, is Fulham only has 6 games left. Not counting the cup, Fulham only has 6 games left. Forest, Burnley, Liverpool, Brentford, Villa, Arsenal. That's it. And the amount of points that Fulham would need to get to like really have a shot, like we're literally talking like Fulham. I literally think they would have to get somewhere between 12 to 14 points just just to have a chance at Europe. So I can't. So yeah, I'm not worried about that. We need good. I mean, here's the Southampton. Yeah, 12. Yeah, they need 12. Like I said, 12 to 14 points. That's the only way. Because this was at least a point loss. I'm not just gonna say 3 points because I didn't have Fulham winning this either way, but I still thought maybe a point. But I want to thank everyone who joined on stream. Not the result we wanted, but it it is what it is. I want to thank all the West Ham fans who came in, gave love to their team, very respectful. It really a frustrating result, but a result nonetheless. I think Silva's going to have to go back and definitely think about what you want to do for Saturday because I don't know. I don't know what else you can really say on this one. And the sad thing is, Fulham has scored 40 goals. Like, there are teams ahead, like Villa, Everton, that have scored fewer goals. And it's just, yeah. No, and I want to thank people from, again, it's been great hearing people, and correct me, hopefully I'm saying this right, Tony Roche. But no, I'm enjoying this. This was still a nice, this was a pleasant stream. We had over 1,000 views, almost 14, almost 1,400. No complaints there. It's just the way this. It's a frustrating but not surprising. And as always, I know Fulhamish does 3-word reviews and things, and the only thing I can say is, yeah, I can't even put it in 3 words. Just not surprised. Yes, thanks. And again, we'll be back Saturday morning for Southampton, and then the following week for Nottingham Forest. So thanks again for everyone. I hope you all have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And as always,